Damian, we are ready. Just welcome everyone in this beautiful weather today in Slovenia. Thank you for coming. This is the presentation about water to return. The speaker today will be me, Giuseppe Salvio from ENCO, Anna Akin, and Marco Della Ferd from USCBB. We would like to start with Water to Return presentation, which is a project funded by Horizon 2020 program. And we'll start with the reason of Water to Return. So we know that resources recovery from wastewater effluents are widely recognized as a valuable and efficient source of nutrients and use in agriculture. If we think that in the 21st century, agriculture has faced multiple challenges, there feed a growing population of 9.1 billion people projected in 2050, with a smaller rural labor force in the context of climate change, land limitation, and soil degradation. What about the food industry? This is characterized by high water and energy consumption and production of large amounts of waste and wastewater, and also chemical fertilizer. This sector is experiencing an unstoppable increase in demand, and their extensive use is problematic as they are associated with emissions of greenhouse gases and can cause eutrophication if they leach into water bodies, among other environmental problems. The current approach for treating the slaughtering wastewater today is a bit, let's say, problematic because in spite of all recognized benefits of adopting a circular economy, the current practice tends to nutrients removal instead of recovery and recycling. And here it comes Water to Return project, because this project faces environmental and economic constraints of slaughtering industry as a market opportunities, and it aims to adopt a circular economy approach to extract the maximum value from the slaughterhouse's effluents. And it makes also possible to recover nutrients from slaughtering wastewater and turn them into valuable products for the agricultural sector. What is Water to Return? Water to Return proposes an integrated solution for slaughterhouses' wastewater treatment, as well for the recovery of nutrients with high market value in the agricultural sector. And this circular economy approach turns wastewater treatment facilities into biorefineries, which is a fundamental aspect of this project. As I said before, Water to Return project is funded by Horizon 2020 program. We started our journey in July 2017 and we will end in March 2022. We are a consortium made of 15 partners from 8 countries with research centers, university, SME, and so on. And this project is coordinated by BioAzul, which is a technology provider located in Malaga in Spain. This is the overview of a Water to Return treatment, which is composed by a water line, a sludge line, an algae line, and the energy recovery module. But let's go to see in details how these lines are working. This is the water line, is the first line, is about wastewater treatments and nutrients recovery. We have an obtention of nutrients concentrate, which is called the secondary raw material number 1. And of this secondary raw material number 1, we can make an agronomic product, which will be an organic biofertilizer. What about line number 2, sludge line? This is about upgrading the sludge generated in the water line through a fermentation process with Bacillus spp. We will have the obtention of a solid fraction, so a secondary raw material number 2, which will be then an biostimulant, and a liquid fraction to be upgraded through an anaerobic digestion process, and this will feed the energy production line with methane. The algae line is about capturing the CO2 released from the anaerobic digestion unit of the sludge line. We will obtain a secondary raw material called number 3, and we will have the manufacturing of a third agronomic product, which will be a biostimulant. These 3 agronomic products, which will be obtained for the 3 production lines, will be free of pathogens and heavy metal, and they will be ready for the commercialization at European and international level. Just to remember that all these agronomic products will be suitable to be used in both conventional and also potentially organic agriculture. But what are the key innovations and results of Water to Return? If we talk about wastewater treatment, we will have one integrated treatment plus nutrients and energy recovery system. So as we saw before, we will have three separate process units: the water line, sludge line, and algae line, plus the energy recovery module. And if we talk about secondary raw materials, we saw before that we will have three different agronomic products also. If they are free of pathogens and pollutants, and they're ready for the commercialization. So, as we saw before, one organic fertilizer and two biostimulants that will enhance nutrition efficiency, abiotic stress tolerance, and crop quality traits. We don't talk only about innovation, about products and wastewater treatment, but also new business models. So we will have business opportunity for all the involved sectors, so the wastewater treatment, the energy engineering, the consultancy companies, the manufacturers of fertilizer, biostimulants, and also the meat and slaughterhouses industry. All these technologies and that we explained before, they will be visible in the demo site, which is located in Matadero del Sur, so which is located in Salterras near Seville. Here you can see a few pictures of this demo site. Here there is a general overview of the water line, sludge line, algae line, and energy recovery module. And here you can see in details the water line, the sludge line, the energy recovery module, and the algae line, which is this kind of a big pool. If we talk about water to return, advantages and challenges, the advantages will be the new business model which will promote industrial synergies and environmental footprint reduction, and also the creation of green business and green jobs. If we talk about challenges, we will have a legal framework on wastewater reuse and bio-based fertilizer, the end-user acceptance, and the economic viability. Our potential clients will be all the slaughterhouses industry, which will be our early adopters, a meat processing industry, and if we refer to the agronomic products that we will produce, of course, our potential clients will be the bioagronomic product distributor and all the agricultural sector, but in particular the conventional and organic farmers. Our system is composed by a modular system, so this can be tailored for future clients according to their needs and expectation. They can buy all the whole packages of water to return system or choose one of the line that they will need. And our system has also a high replicability because it's a flexible system and can be adapted to other food industries. So this is what Water to Return project is about. And I would like to show you now a video which will explain in a few minutes our technologies.
In light of climate change, land limitation, and soil degradation, there is rising demand for alternative and sustainable solutions to maximize water use efficiency and to recover resources from going to waste. However, the European food industry, especially the slaughtering sector, has a high water and energy consumption, producing significantly large amounts of wastewater containing nutrients that end up being discarded. This results in serious environmental risks. So what if we reverse this process and turn wastewater treatment facilities into nutrients biorefineries? The Horizon 2020 project, Water to Return, provides a cutting-edge solution for slaughterhouse wastewater treatment while recovering resources. It adopts a circular economy approach. The project's demonstrator is being run at the Matadero del Sur slaughterhouse premises in Salterras, a region well versed in water scarcity challenges. This integrated system not only treats wastewater, but generates reclaimed water as well as energy thanks to its energy recovery module. It also extracts resources to be further turned into high market value products for the agrochemical industry. Concretely, per each of its treatment lines, the system recovers 3 different secondary raw materials: nitrogen concentrate, hydrolyzed sludge, and algal biomass. These form the basis to further manufacture agronomic products, 1 biofertilizer and 2 biostimulants, ready to be used by the agricultural sector. This way, the Water to Return approach not only contributes to reduce the production of chemical fertilizers that may cause environmental problems, but also solves wastewater management issues in slaughterhouses, while reducing water and energy costs at the same time. Water to Return's innovative resource-oriented solution for industrial wastewater treatment is transposable to the needs of diverse industries and end users, as well as responding to a rising demand for sustainable alternatives, increasing water usage efficiency and resource recovery, making it an optimal framework across Europe.
So thank you for listening, and now I will leave the floor to Anna Akin for her presentation.
Sorry. Okay, how I go forward with this? Okay, thank you very much. Hello to everyone. Welcome to this Water to Return workshop. Let me see to introduce myself. My name is Anna Ahcin, and I'm Secretary General in the Business Association of Slovenian Meat Industry. Since this workshop is intended for the representatives of the slaughterhouses, I was invited to give a short presentation about Slovenian meat industry. Now, for a start, let me see to introduce ourselves. So, we are a representative organization of the Slovenian meat industry. We are independent legal entity established in 1999. So we are here actually on the market more than 20 years. Our members are the biggest Slovenian meat processing companies engaged in the activities of slaughter, production, and processing. So our main activities are to represent the interests of our members, to protect EU standards, to facilitate communication between national organizations and meat producers, to communicate and cooperate with national institutions, to cooperate with external institutions, with EU association, and of course, to promote meat and meat products. And those are our commitments. We are committed to food safety, food quality, sustainable food, animal health and animal welfare, transparency labeling of origin, and providing confident and responsible choice to consumers. Let's see now some facts about Slovenia. I would like to expose some of them because they are very important to understand Slovenian agriculture, meat industry, and the slaughter industry. So, Slovenia is a small country. It's one of the smallest in European Union. It measured 20,000 square kilometers, and it has 2.1 million inhabitants. What's important is the landscape for agriculture, mostly is mountainous and forested. Almost 90% of the territory lies 300 meters above or more above sea level. So due to the large portion of forest, karst area, we have, and mountainous region, of course, we have only 20% plain areas. Total agriculture area represents only 24% of the total territory. So the agriculture area is divided to permanent grasslands, 25% arable land for cereals and fodder crops, and only 2.8% arable land for industrial crops. The rest are permanent crops and gardens. So, due to the natural and structural conditions in Slovenia, to a large extent dictate the orientation of agricultural production, affect farm capacity, reduce crop selection and production orientation. That's why family farming has been a principal model of agriculture for centuries. But the fact is that farms in Slovenia are extremely small. Livestock unit per agriculture is low, but we have a lot of farms in Slovenia. That's why stock farming dominates with 61% of the value of total agriculture production. And of course, the stock farming is the key of sustainable and rural development. Now, let's move to the slaughterhouses. There are two types of slaughterhouses in Slovenia. We have registered slaughterhouses, which operate on the national market, and we have approved slaughterhouses, which operate on the internal market. So, the slaughterhouse has a crucial position in the meat chain. At the slaughterhouse, the work of the farmers ends and the meat processing stage begins. Virtually everything in a slaughterhouse revolves around animal welfare, hygiene, food safety, and food control. So, I won't talk much about rules and regulation. I would just like to emphasize the main standards that slaughterhouses have to meet. So, ante-mortem inspection, animal welfare, unloading, standing, and post-mortem inspection. And of course, the company must comply different construction requirements. Let's see, like accommodation and transport of the animals, food safety, hygiene, the environment, animal health and animal welfare, storage, and of course, removal of the residual and byproducts. So this is the situation in Slovenia about slaughterhouses. We have more than 100 slaughterhouses, which is a large number for a country small as Slovenia. But if we take a look in approved slaughterhouses, there are 30 of them. Here are listed the biggest Slovenian meat producers, and all of them, they have their own slaughterhouses, either for pig, for cattle, or both. And down below are listed the biggest 3 vertically integrated poultry producers. And of course, the approved slaughterhouses has a major share on the market. This is not surprisingly, suppose. So, just a brief look in the meat industry. Gross domestic production 2020, beef, pork, poultry. We are, for our own consumption, we have our production of beef and poultry, it's okay, but we don't have our production on pork meat is quite low. So we have to buy pork meat on the free market. Now, since the next presentation will be about water recycling, nutrient recycling. So let's see the circular economy in the Slovenian slaughterhouses. No doubt that slaughterhouses play an important role in the circular economy. Almost all animal parts rejected for human consumption are used for other purposes. Residual and byproducts go to specialized companies for further processing. All kinds of products are made from residual and byproducts, from consumer articles to medicine and much more. The cattle and the calf skin, let's say, became leather. Some parts of animal are raw material for pet food. The bones provide raw material for glue, gelatin, buttons, and animal fat is suitable for the production of biodiesel. And I don't know, for fat industry, for oil industry, etc. So, what's happening with the water in the slaughterhouses? They surely use a lot of water and energy. For the animals' care, slaughter rooms and the machines are frequently sprayed and disinfected. Energy is required for cooling of carcasses. Freezing meat for longer storage costs a lot of energy. Transport of livestock, meat distribution, and so on. So slaughterhouses take all kinds of measures to limit the consumption of water and energy. Investment in energy-efficient equipment, adapt company buildings to new, higher standards, change the slaughter process and logistic, build a new installation using alternative energy source like solar, wind, biogas. So, reduce water consumption by collecting used water and making it suitable for other purposes. Processed water contain, of course, meat proteins, fat, blood residues, and carbohydrates. That's why processed water and wastewater that go to the sewer system at first must be purified and disinfected, with saving spray nozzles by reducing the water pressure and by using condensers on cooling machines. So that's everything in a short. Thank you very much for your attention. You have a fine day and enjoy this meeting, actually this workshop. Thank you very much. Bye. Thank you.
Good morning to all of you, and thanks again to be here today. It's one of the first meetings after the pandemic situation, so most of you will be connected by our dissemination channel. My name is Marco Della Feld, and I'm involved in the Water to Return project under the umbrella of UCBB, the European Association of Meat Industry. You already have received the most relevant information about the scope of the project and how important is the circular economy today in 2021, and in particular how water is one of the most relevant resources, not only in our normal life, but also for the industry. So today, in this presentation, I will provide you some information about the meat industry in general around the EU, and in particular, the economic benefit that our solution could be provided. So, about the global market, the EU is a competitive player in the global scenario, scoring second only after the Asian continent. You can see that the estimation and the forecast for 2029 and 22, but in 2018, Asia was the first global meat production continent. The second is the Europe, and the third and the fourth is North Africa. So meat industry in EU play a very relevant and important role. Pig meat is the most relevant type of meat processed in Europe, and it has seen a future growth in recent years to the contribution of external factors. In this graph, you can see how the increase in the last year of bovine, pig, sheep and goat, and poultry meat. In particular, in terms of EU trade in animal products, you can see also the growth in the last 10 years. Export to third countries keep the production levels steady or can even trigger their growth. In 2020, value of EU trade with the rest of the world in animal production was worth 71 billion, closing the year with a net surplus of around 50 billion. In terms of the different nations involved in the EU production, the first is the Germany, the second one is the Spain, the third, fourth, and fifth are France, Poland, and Italy. And you can see that more than 50% of the market is covered by the pig meat. Here you can see where the EU export the pig production, and in particular in China, Philippines, Japan, and Hong Kong, with relevant growth compared to January-May 2020, very relevant in particular in China and in Hong Kong. But we also import pig products, and in particular these imports has been done by Switzerland, Norway, and Chile. So in terms of beef, you can see, and live animals, you can see also here when EU export, and the most relevant are Israel, Hong Kong, and Philippines. And here you can see the imports in terms of beef and live animals. So breeding livestock translates into generation of waste. However, it's during the slaughter-outing process the most organic solid waste is produced. The amount of solid waste will change according to the type of animal slaughter-outed. Furthermore, in spite of the actual filtration system in place, slaughterhouse wastewater treatments still contain a very high amount of organic and inorganic suspended solid and soluble particles. Here you can see that in the different slaughterhouse animal, you can see the percent of edible meat and the percent of inedible meat. And in the pig, the ratio is between 62 of edible meat against 38 of unedible meat. So the actual situation, current approach for treating slaughterhouse wastewater, in spite of all recognized benefit of adopting a circular economy approach, current practice tend to nutrients removal instead of recovery and recycling. Water to return can be an alternative and more sustainable approach. It faces the environmental and economic constraint of the slaughter-outing industry as a market opportunity. It aims to adopt a circular economy approach to extract the maximum value from slaughterhouse affluents, and it makes possible to recover nutrients from slaughter-outing wastewater and turn them into value-added products for the agriculture sector. So, in terms of benefit, we have environmental footprint reduction. So, wastewater discharge reduction is around 90%, and reduction in waste delivery to landfill that is around 80%. Recovery rates, freshwater saving is between 20 and 40% in the meat industry and 95% of nutrients recovery. In terms of treatment cost, we have a conventional cost of 2.63 euro for each cube meter of water. With our solution, we are able to reduce this cost with a cost saving of 30% and with a cost of 1.85 euro for cube meter. So business opportunity for involved sector is wastewater treatment, energy and consultancy company, manufacturer of fertilizer and biostimulant, slaughterhouses and meat industry. So potential clients of our solution is slaughterhouse industry, early adopter, meat processing industry from the side of meat producer, but also bioagroeconomic products distributors and about the agricultural sector, conventional and organic farmers. So our system is modular to be tailored for future clients according to their needs and expectation, and with an higher replicability. So it's flexible system to be adopted in other food industry. So before to close my presentation, I would like to put your attention about the importance of this solution not only for the circular economy approach, but also for economic benefit for the slaughterhouses and for the bioagronomic products. And we are developing our solution, and it will be ready end of March 2022, and the final workshop will be organized directly in Matadero del Sur to show to the potential customer how the solution it will works. Of course, for more information, you can follow us on our communication channel. We are on Twitter, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn. Thanks a lot. So now the program of our agenda was to have an answer and question session. I don't know if there are, from the few participants that we have here today, some specific question, or in any case we can close here our session and we will be able to reply to this question by mail on our dissemination channel. Okay, so we remain at your disposal on our website, on LinkedIn and on Twitter. I would like to kindly thank all the participants, not only present, but also virtual, and we really hope to receive a feedback about our solution. Thanks a lot. Mi hai fatto una cosa così brutta. Ma poi con tutti sti casini qua. Anna. Can you the next one will be 12:30? Register. Okay, and we try to put some person because I think that the agro aspects will be more